Joining us today for Primetime Local News is Jan Reimer with the Alberta Council of Women's Shelters. Thank you so much for taking the time once again to speak with us.
And thanks for having me today. We really appreciate it.
Of course, no problem. We were just saying this a little bit earlier, but this is a big thing happening. IODE donating $100,000 for trauma-informed children's curriculum training in shelters. So let's just kind of get started with this and be able to help get the word out there. What exactly was this donation all about?
Well, it was marking their 100th anniversary, and we've had a long relationship with IODE over the years. They've supported children's programming in shelter for decades. And so when they approached us about, giving $100,000 or raising $100,000 for children's programming, we were over the moon. And to consider that they also raised this money during a pandemic when it's really tough to get out and about, we can't hold events, is really amazing. So we are truly, truly grateful for all the work that they did to make this happen.
And what was that reaction like in the response once, the Alberta Council of Women's Shelters heard about this announcement for receiving this generous donation from IODE?
Well, I think we're all really excited, and we've been working really hard to make those dollars stretch, and also to make sure that we have a really top-notch curriculum to offer shelter staff who are working with children in shelter. A lot of people don't realize, that you think about women's shelters, they don't think about kids. But you're more likely, if you open a shelter door, to hear the voices of children first and foremost, because mothers bring their children to be safe. So being able to intervene, to have those practical skills is vitally important.
And for that $100,000 helping, of course, with the training, is there more initiatives that the Council of Women's Shelter is using that money towards as well?
Well, it's putting it both, we modernize the curriculum, because the other thing that happens is with the science of brain development is continually evolving. So what might have been true 5 years ago, we know so much more today. So we wanted to incorporate the newest knowledge possible. We wanted to make it interactive on an online learning platform, which is something new for us. And so we were moving forward on that front. And we also wanted to incorporate the calls to action from the TRC as it relates to children. So each of the modules now has that piece in it as one of their learning objectives. So we really did a major revamp, and we've already offered the training in person to some shelter staff who really, really have appreciated the difference that it could make, because it's practical knowledge. It's not just understanding the science of brain development. It's giving them tools to apply in shelter.
And I know you were already bringing up a little bit, but could we also expand on just why you believe it's the importance of having this type of training for the shelters?
Well, often people may not realize that training in domestic violence is not an automatic thing. You can graduate today in Alberta as a social worker, as a psychologist, any profession, and virtually not have to take a course on understanding the dynamics of domestic violence. But everybody knows somebody, and certainly it shows its ugly head in every profession. So having that knowledge is vitally important. So when shelters are recruiting and they're wanting to hire people, it may very well be that they've never had any study on the impact of domestic violence, let alone the impact on children. And so this curriculum helps to further that knowledge and also support shelters in getting the training that they need at a very practical level.
Well, it's really good to hear that this donation is going towards this program with the training and how important this is, of course, with children and family in the community. So I'm really glad you were able to receive this donation. And for people out there that are interested in just finding out more information, where can they go online to be able to just see more about this?
Well, you can always visit our website at acws.ca. There's lots of information about violence, about the impact of children right there on the webpage. And, if they're aware of anyone in their lives who may be experiencing domestic violence, help connect them to shelters. You don't have to go to a shelter to stay and to get their help. You just have to call them up. And often people, after You know, everybody wants to tell a friend, a neighbor, or a family member, but if that family member is then able to connect them with appropriate supports, it makes a world of difference. So there is information on our website about that as well.
Perfect. Well, once again, thank you so much for joining us today, Jan. It's always nice to be able to speak with you, and congratulations once again to the women's shelters just for receiving this donation. I know you will put it to good use and help all the families out there.
Thank you, and a big thank you as well to IODE. Thanks, Shelby.